Recording in progress.
Oke, selamat pagi Bapak dan Ibu sekalian. Terima kasih untuk kehadirannya di dalam workshop yang kedua ini. Workshop yang kedua ini merupakan persiapan dari serangkaian acara dalam rangka Creative Hackathon short video yang akan diselenggarakan pada tanggal 12 hingga 20 Juni 2026. Kita sudah menyelesaikan workshop yang pertama minggu lalu dengan The Art of Storytelling. Kami sudah membagikan hasil rekaman YouTube dengan teks bahasa Indonesia serta bahan presentasi di dalam WhatsApp group para peserta. Apabila ada yang belum mendapatkan, mohon bisa menghubungi kepada sekretariat. Pada hari ini kita akan lanjutkan dengan workshop yang kedua, Creating with AI. Sebelum kita mulai, saya ingin memperkenalkan diri dulu. Nama saya Inga Halim, saya adalah bagian dari pengurus harian dalam bidang 7, yaitu transformasi dan pengembangan MPK Indonesia. Hari ini saya akan menjadi host dan sekaligus juga sebagai chair daripada komite, MPK Komite untuk pertandingan hackathon ini. Sebelum kita mulai, kita akan melihat dulu tata tertib meeting hari ini. Ada 3, Bapak Ibu. Yang pertama, Bapak Ibu diminta untuk tidak menyalakan mikrofon karena acara ini direkam untuk dapat disebarkan melalui YouTube. Karena acara ini akan dilakukan di dalam bahasa Inggris dan di dalam YouTube akan dilakukan teks bahasa Indonesia. Kemudian yang kedua, untuk tanya jawab, apabila Bapak Ibu mempunyai pertanyaan, harap langsung dituliskan di kolom chat. Nanti pada saatnya ketika Q&A sudah bagian Q&A, kami akan menjawab. Along the way juga akan ada yang menjawab pertanyaan-pertanyaan tersebut. Yang ketiga, pada akhir acara kami akan mengedarkan daftar hadir yang harap untuk diisi. Sebelum kita mulai, saya ingin memohon Bapak Ibu sekalian untuk bisa mengganti namanya dengan menyebutkan nama sekolah di depan atau kotanya, kemudian dilanjutkan dengan nama Bapak Ibu. Jadi nama sekolah atau nama kota, kalau yang bukan dari sekolah ya nama kotanya, kemudian diteruskan dengan nama Bapak Ibu. Oke, sekarang saya ingin memperkenalkan para narasumber yang akan berbicara hari ini. Kita sangat bersyukur karena kita mendapatkan narasumber yang betul-betul pakar di bidangnya. Pak narasumber yang pertama adalah Joel Poh. Joel adalah ahli di dalam storytelling, juga mempunyai pengalaman puluhan tahun dalam membuat narasi yang menarik untuk membuat persepsi publik maupun untuk iklan, dan juga untuk menulis pidato-pidato dalam perusahaan. Dan setelah bertahun-tahun, Joel kembali ke Singapura, setelah bertahun-tahun di luar negeri, maksudnya Joel kembali ke Singapura untuk mengembangkan suatu potensi baru. Beliau adalah founder dari Eden Stone, yang merupakan startup yang membuat dan men-scale untuk intellectual property di bidang entertainment dengan memakai teknologi baru seperti Web3 dan AI. Beliau ini bertiga dengan 2 teman lainnya membuat mini series yang sepenuhnya dikerjakan dengan AI. Dan pada hari ini kita akan melihat bagaimana membuat mini series langsung dari produsernya. Narasumber yang kedua yaitu Eric Michelson. Eric adalah account director, senior account director, dan video producer dari Singapore Agency yang sudah lama dan yang sudah berpengalaman untuk memproduksi konten untuk perusahaan-perusahaan bermerek seperti Visa, Google, Workday, dan Barclays di Asia Pasifik. Dan untuk mini series yang mereka judulkan sebagai Singapore Fall, Eric menerjemahkan visi dari Joel dalam sequence AI yang cinematic dan juga menjembati disiplin produksi dengan teknik yang cepat, dengan konsistensi karakter, dan pembuatan prototipe yang berulang-ulang. Jadi Joel melakukan pre-production, bagaimana skenarionya, Eric membuat productionnya, dan narasumber yang ketiga, seorang Indonesia by surprise, Bapak Ibu, namanya Bayu Wisena. Bayu berlokasi di Jogja. Dan Bayu adalah video dan foto editor. Beliaulah yang memfinishing daripada Singapore Fall itu, dan beliau sudah melakukan pekerjaan ini selama 6 tahun dalam post-production experience. Dan Bayu juga mempunyai klien yang cukup ternama seperti Visa, Google, Workday, dan Properti Guru. Jadi Bayu mengerjakan video-video untuk perusahaan, juga melakukan retouching, finalisasi daripada foto maupun juga untuk visual untuk newsletter. Nah, dalam workshop hari ini mereka bertiga akan menyuguhkan kepada kita pengalaman membuat mini series yang sekarang sedang berjalan di Singapura dan bisa ditonton oleh Bapak Ibu semua. Bagaimana sebuah mini series itu dibuat. Tentu kita tidak seprofesi mereka. Nanti pada akhir daripada presentasi dari workshop ini, ketika pre-production, production, dan post-production sudah disampaikan, Joel juga akan menyampaikan tips di mana para siswa bisa mendapatkan link daripada tools, AI tools yang gratis. Ya, bagaimana nanti tools-tools itu bisa membantu kita membuat video yang 100% dilakukan oleh AI. Oke, tanpa menunggu lama, nanti pada bagian yang kedua, saya akan perkenalkan pembicara lain untuk membantu kita menunjukkan bagaimana caranya registrasi hackathon ini. Pada part yang pertama ini, kita serahkan pada Joel. Joel, the floor is yours for creating with AI. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Inga. Hello, everybody. Selamat pagi. I don't know if everybody can hear me. Are you guys okay to hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah,
Apa kabar?
Wow, not bad, Joel.
Yeah, that's all the bahasa I know, unfortunately. But I communicate better in English, and I'm very grateful to have the time to share with you guys today on how we are using AI to storytell. And let me just share my screen really quickly. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. So welcome everybody to today's topic. It's really about AI storytelling, using telling stories with AI. And I'm joined here with my team, and I will introduce them shortly. But we'll be using this time to talk about a new series that we've just debuted. It's basically called Sporefall, and it's by this company that I founded. It's a very early stage startup called Eden Stone, right? And I just want to ask you guys, what do you understand if I say, hey, we're a company and we're in the business of creating and building intellectual property for entertainment? Feel free to drop in some notes on the comment chat box if that makes sense, what comes to mind. See any comments at the moment. But simply put, I'll just go on ahead and explain is that if you guys are familiar with famous media franchises, I'm sure you guys hear about Harry Potter, you guys hear about Star Wars, correct? So essentially, what we're doing with Sporefall is creating the next Harry Potter or the next Star Wars. We hear about Star Wars. We saw Star Wars in movie theaters when it came out, and we saw Harry Potter come out through books. And if you take away books, you take away movie theaters, intellectual property just means a set of characters and a storyline that exists wherever you tell it. You could tell the story on a book, you could tell the story in the movie theaters, you could also tell the story in a game. And so with that, we've created this new story. It's called Sporefall. And what this story is about, it's basically, if you guys are familiar with The Last of Us or 28 Days Later, it's somewhat similar. It's set in a fictional city. It's the city called Leonara in a galaxy far away. It's a city that's been ravaged by a spore pathogen. So if you guys know about COVID, it's basically like that. And the spore pathogen is overtaking the citizens. And then how the story plays out is that there is a rogue medic and a soldier that are forced to work together because the spore pathogen is giving the humans new abilities while infecting them. So this is the premise of our story. And I will just share this video with you guys. We have our season 1 trailer right here. And I'll just go ahead and play it.
There was a time when Leonara thrived, a city of light, of a shining metropolis where our people prospered. Then came the long dark. It took everything from us. They told us survival demanded sacrifice. We traded peace.
The sunflowers track the light. The sun gives purpose. Without
I don't know, in my side, the voice is choppy, Joel. Is it maybe the...
Can you guys hear it?
You've become the very thing we swore to fight against. The Marcus I knew wouldn't hurt a child.
break clusters in zones 9, 10, and the docks.
But what if the spore isn't an ending?
I got you. Stay with me.
What if it's a beginning?
Get me the boy.
We can resist the future, or we can shape it together.
Turn weakness into strength.
Now you're leading. The future won't be inherited. It will be chosen.
Okay, so this is really just one example of what you can do telling stories with AI. I know that the video might not be the smoothest, but I'll share it with you guys later on in the chat and you can have a look on your own time. But we're going to be using the example of how we created Sporefall and taking our experiences while doing this with AI to also show you guys that there's so much that we can do now with the technology that is available for us. And AI is really one of the ways that we can use to tell good stories, right? And what you're looking at here is really a team effort. If you look at that 3-minute clip, it took maybe about 3.5 weeks to put together, and it's not by one person, and I'm joined here today by my brilliant team. I have Eric and I have Bayu with me, and you guys will hear a lot more about their sharing later on. Okay, we're gonna go into the actual. We're gonna use Sporefall as an example in how you guys can use AI for telling your stories and bringing your vision to life. And I really see it in sort of like an orchestra. If you guys imagine an orchestra, it's where you have all the different musicians with all the musical instruments. When they all come together and they play together with one vision, everything becomes very beautiful. And there are three acts in forming an orchestra. I will share a little bit about the beginning. Before an orchestra can actually come together, there must be an idea or a vision. And the vision is what I mean by what are you trying to tell? What is your story about? I believe we all here have interesting imaginations and very good stories. But these we look at storytelling, it usually falls along a few common themes, right? You see the example of Star Wars or Harry Potter, even Sporefall. You see themes that are explored like good versus evil. You see how the hero actually develops his character and goes through a journey, transform through trials and adventure, and come back with a prize. And some other themes are like, Star Wars talk about the chosen one, an Anakin Skywalker. Harry Potter talks about Harry Potter. So these are some of the themes, and it's good for you guys to think about what do you want to tell with the story? What is your vision? What is your story about? Using the example that we described earlier on, if you look at Star Wars, these are some of the classic timeless themes of great storytelling. And all the greatest stories that are told share the same, right? In Star Wars, you have the themes of.
Joel, we're still
Go
on
ahead.
the production. We're still on the production team slide.
Oh, it didn't go through? Did it refresh? Thanks for letting me know. Did it refresh?
There we go. Now it's refreshed.
Okay, great. There we go. So Star Wars as a theme, as an example, we see these common themes that goes through with the telling of the story. You see the good versus evil in the Jedi versus the Sith. You see the hero's journey, Luke Skywalker's story. You see the found family in the sort of extended family that the hero comes in contact with. And another theme that's popular, it's the chosen one, right? Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars is said to be destined to bring balance to the Force. And if we look at Harry Potter, it's the same thing. So all these great storytelling examples all usually follow a certain format. And if you guys want to be telling your stories, it's a good practice to think about what is your vision and what are you trying to say with the story. Is it a good and evil, good versus evil storyline? Is there a chosen one theme? Or there could be many themes that you can explore. But I just wanted to give the example that even modern storytelling doesn't shy away from these common themes. So for Sporefall as an example, what are the themes of Sporefall? And as we were developing this, it's really about unity versus division coming together, saying that we're better, stronger together than we are apart. It's also about turning our weakness into strength. It's about choosing hope versus fear. And at the end of it, love conquers all. And how we tell these different stories through different ways, right? There are many ways to either tell it between character to character or between the wider storyline in the zombie apocalypse sort of setting. I just want to share with you guys, what does AI have to do in storytelling? I think we were very blessed when we launched this a couple of days ago that we've gotten quite good media attention. And because we are the first AI-driven storytelling microdrama in Southeast Asia, and we have a team across Singapore as well as Bayus in Indonesia as well, really representing Southeast Asia. And I think people are taking notice of that. People are noticing that, the the playing field is level now. It's no longer high budgets or big Hollywood studios that can do, very ambitious projects. So right now, what AI can do for us, it's opening up so much more possibilities, right? And we're really just exploring that. So what are we? What does that bring us now? We're in the golden age of storytelling. We have all these tools that are available for us, and we are able to tell compelling stories using these tools. And AI is just one of the tools. In the past, when you look at Hollywood blockbusters, right? You look at Avengers or like Star Wars, the major Hollywood blockbusters. It's really hard to do something like that without a very big team, without a lot of money. You need big budgets. You need very large crews. You need hundreds of specialists from arranging the shoot logistics and the infrastructure just to shoot a scene. And also, you need a lot of planning and years of time prepping this. So I want to ask you guys, and feel free to leave your comments in the chat. Why don't you make a guess as to how long we took to make an episode in the Sporefall? Anybody wants to want to guess? Put it down in the chat. Anybody? 3 days, 6 months, 1 week. Okay, I'm seeing really, really interesting suggestions there. 1 week, amazing. 2 months, great. 6 months. Okay, the answer is actually the whole of Sporefall. We started in near the end of December, and so it took us about slightly 3 months now to do to come up with an episode, to come up with 2 episodes really. So if you look at what we've just seen earlier on with the trailer, something like that in the past would have taken probably years of pre-production and a lot of money and huge crews. But now with AI, really the world's your oyster. And if we can try and attempt something like that, you guys definitely can do something much, much better as well with the tools that are available, right? So I'll take you through what does that look like for us right now. The new reality is that we've entered 3 different eras with AI. AI is a tool that's changing very quickly. One interesting thought was when we started with this idea of making an AI microdrama in December, we actually had an advantage, right? Nobody has done that before. But because AI is changing and transforming so quickly, in the months from December till now, we've seen new tools released. We've seen, if you guys are familiar with Nano Banana or Seedance, with all these new changes and transformations in AI, the barrier to entry has become lower, and a lot of people are doing very interesting stuff. So in between December to March, we really see our advantage shrink. But if we look at the past year or so, AI has gone through 3 very distinct era. There's a weird era in which AI was not very polished, and you see on the left here, I call it the weird era, when you have Will Smith eating spaghetti. It's a very basic approach to what AI is doing. It's not professional at all. Back in the day, that was maybe like a couple of years ago. Back in the day, you wouldn't be able to do something credible with the tools then. And then we moved into the noise era, which is when the tools become a lot more democratized and people are having access to it. People just don't think so much about what they want to do with AI, but they resorted to doing simple stuff like cat videos, and that's why we have the term called AI slop, right? And you see a lot of very low effort type of content being put up just because it also goes to show that just because we have access to the tools doesn't mean that it's being used well, right? You got to understand your tool before you can use it for your vision. And now we're entering the 3rd era, which is what we call the IP crisis, right? Runway and Seedance, basically very powerful AI tools, giving a lot of people the opportunity to just go crazy with it without guardrails. And people started to cross-reference and cross-train AI models, pitting, like famous characters from different media franchises. If you see right here, Darth Vader is from Star Wars, but Thanos is from Marvel Avengers. So this is a whole legal nightmare. And we're in that period right now. It shows how advanced AI is. Here are 2 examples of characters from 2 different media franchises, and these are all fan-made.
Wanna lose? Ah! Ow, ah! Ow, ow, ow! Ah!
I've seen a bear more dangerous than you, homie.
A bear.
So I just want to show very quickly. Homelander is owned by Amazon, I believe, Amazon Prime, and Superman is from DC. Two very different companies, right? And people like you and I are just using these things without guardrails and creating very bombastic special effects out of them. And they're really challenging the legal officers of these companies because we're not allowed to do stuff like that, right? But my point is just saying because the tools are available for us are so advanced now, we can do stuff like that. We can even make Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt fight. Right? In real life, that wouldn't happen. These are not real people. These are not real characters. It's all AI. So what does it look like today? In the current landscape, we have a lot of style over substance. We have stunning visuals. It's very effortless to generate right now. It takes the amount of time to do something like what you've just seen is considerably shrank. But there's also a lot of very cool visuals, but no real storytelling. There's no real character building. So there's no narrative. Emotionally, there's no depth. So I would call it the current landscape very beautiful, but also very empty. So what do we do with Sporefall at Edenstone is this is our approach. We've always looked at AI as a tool to bring forth your vision. Right? We use AI to scale our imagination, and it will never ever replace us. It will never replace human. We being humans, we're always the architect, the ones that come up with the vision, the ones that come up with the stories and the dreams. And so with Sporefall, it's all human written. Even before we start generating, it's all human written. And the writing process is where we start to flesh out the different character motivations, and we flesh them out with purpose, conflict, and a lot of complex story arcs before we actually start to use the tool to create what you've just seen on screen earlier on. So the great thing is because AI is so quick in generating new sequences, we can use AI before bringing forth an idea from page to screen. We can actually use AI to pre-visualize your characters and environments. And the plus point with AI is you can keep using it to reiterate, and it does so very quickly, right? You don't need to go through different sketches in order to make sure a concept it's aligned to your vision. With AI, there's so many ways to do that very quickly in a short amount of time, and we'll go through that very quickly after this. Show you an example. But AI is a great tool for you to flesh out your environment pre-visualization, and it could also help you explore characters. Like in the past, you would be sketching, you would be 3D painting, but right now it's all a set of prompts, and you can refine text and words really quickly, and so it gives you an advantage. Here are two stills of environments in the Sporefall universe. One is obviously the very good times in the Golden Age, and one is the fallen world, present day in the city of Leonara. How do we get these two separate images? It's through different brainstorming and iterations with AI. I'm just going to show you some examples of the environments that we've created, and all this is in pre-production. We haven't even begun to actually create the sequences that you saw. So all these environments are great for you to pre-visualize, to give you an idea of how the vision looks like in your head. And with pre-production, it helps when you hand that over to production, and then you can start building that off. And Eric will talk about that a little bit later. So here's an example assignment. You're looking at an environment in the fictional city of Leonara, and it's called the Stacks. It's a high-rise environment where it's very dystopian, and there's a lot of stacked shipping containers. It's also very scary. It's like a tunnel even. So how do we create an environment like that for the Sporefall universe? If you look at the example prompt on the right, these are some of the words in which we use to describe the environment. And just from words alone, and there's so many ways to create environments, right? There's text to video, there's image to video, but for us, we always try to make it as complete as possible in the still image first, for it to be as true to your idea and your vision first before we actually go to animate it. So for this example, it's all words generated. And the great thing about that is that you can keep reiterating, you can keep modifying your words, adding keywords like claustrophobic alleyways, stacked shipping containers, steam pipes, and all these really bring to life this still image that you're looking at right now. And the end product, how this looks like eventually would be something like that.
Not their turf. We'll lose them inside. Come on.
Curfew in effect. Report symptoms immediately.
Okay, just wanted to show you guys a quick preview of episode 1, and it happens in that environment called the stacks, and it all began like that with words, right? Here's another example assignment. Here we want to create an environment in the Sporefall universe, and this is an apartment of one of the lead character called Lena. And basically, if you look at the bottom right photo, it's an AI generated still of a scene, and this is where the characters actually had a fight. They are lovers, but they actually had a fight and they fell out. But from that bottom right image, we use it as a reference, and our prompt, we will say, hey, I want to generate a view of this apartment. This is how the environment in the apartment look like. Can you generate something like that without the characters? Some of the key things that I want to include in this environment, have a refrigerator in there, have very dusty overhead lamps, have microscopes because the character is a scientist as well, right? So microscopes really, in the environment, really show her personality. And so all this is refined with a prompt and a reference image for you to eventually output the final image that you see on the left without characters. And what I do with these environments without the characters generated is I hand it over to the team, like Eric and Bayou, and they would start to, animate that and bring that into life. But all these little still environments, we call them ingredients, right? Like if you're trying to cook something like nasi campur or something, you need different ingredients to come together to make that meal. So for us, ingredients could look like still images of environments for the scenes. It could also be the characters in itself without the environment. And all that gets handed over to the production team. Earlier on, you look at the environment of the apartment. This is how it looks like on screen.
I knew wouldn't hurt a child.
I do it for the safety of the citizens. And for you. Even if you don't see it.
Right? And so when the production team puts everything together, this is where you start to see the storyline happens, where the lead characters have an argument and they fell out. I'll give you one more example. This is to create an environment in the stacks. We start off with the bottom left image where this was really quickly put together in a separate prompt. I just said something like, hey, I want flowing sewage in a dark underground living quarters, and AI just gave me 2 persons in there as well. These 2 persons are not part of the universe. They are not any other characters. But what I want to do is I want to have the character on the right be used as a reference image to put him into the environment, because we want to create a scene where it features this character. So the prompt looks like this on the right. I will say you remove the characters from the target image on the left, but also include the reference image characters. And I gave a little bit more detail to flesh out the environment. I say, he's in a makeshift market. He's cutting and chopping a pile of human parts and cyborg parts. And earlier on, I said AI is great for iteration. You keep iterating until it becomes true to what you imagine in your head. And this is something that we weren't able to do without AI in the past. Now we can do it. So this is where we start to iterate. AI gave me this scene based on my earlier prompt, and I say, oh, I want a few more characters in the background. because this is sort of like an underground, makeshift, illegal market. All right. So I said to the AI, introduce a few characters in the background, and these characters are doing certain things. What happens in the background on the right that you see, all these words are not typed by us, but AI generates that and thinks for us and extrapolates that. And what the result look like is the final image it gives us is this, with the extra characters in the background, with the extra parts. It's a little bit gory, but this is to paint a picture of the environment in the stacks with this character, right? And when that gets handed over to the production team, this is how it looks like on screen.
You can't run forever. The stacks will eat you alive.
So these are the environment from that. These are the environment and the characters from the stacks. Again, iteration. These three pictures are examples of how when we first started to create an environment, it started off from the top frame. But I realized, hey, how do we have characters interact in this frame because the trains are too near? So I said, move the trains backward. So you see that in the bottom left. And then I said, okay, how does that look like if my scene were to happen at night? And I would prompt it for night, right? So there is that process of keep transforming, keep iterating until it becomes true to the vision that you have in your head. Now we quickly go into character building and how do we flesh out fake characters with AI, but making them so real, right? And making characters real is not just about the technology or how good the AI is. It's also about giving them a background story. And I'll talk about this here. Before actually creating the characters in video or in stills, you got to think also about the characters in your story. Who are they and what do they stand for? Are they, if you look at the common themes like good versus evil, is this character a good person or is he a person that from good becomes evil but undergoes a transformation journey and comes back to the good? So you think about fleshing out the characters first by carving out their inner motivations. And AI is a really good way to brainstorm. If you see here are some examples, right? Even before we start creating how the character looks, we go to AI like ChatGPT or DeepSeek, and we use AI to brainstorm character snapshots. Like we'll say this is an Asian woman, half white, half Chinese, and these are her roles, and give a little bit of context and backstory about this person called Lina Chen. What was she? How is she part of the story, right? She's a respected botanist. She specialized in rare plant species, and then there's an outbreak. So all these things happens way before you generate an image. And these are important things to consider because earlier on we talk about AI slop, right? These are very beautiful visuals, but there's no backstory, there's no story, and the audience cannot connect because the characters are not real. So you could use prompts like build scenarios in which your characters are part of, build her character motivations before you start to build scenarios. This is an example in which we try to test a scenario where what happens is Marcus and Lina, and Marcus executes Lina's neighbor. After this turning point, we flesh out the scenario where Lina turns her apartment into a sanctuary to care for people who's infected by the spore virus, right? And we use AI to help us brainstorm. Again, with the character motivations, it's very in-depth, but we've taken a lot of pains to just flesh out the characters with very deep character motivations, even before we go into building how the character looks in 3D, right? Here are some examples, as well as the other characters, Marcus. There's a lot to read here, but we will share this with you guys, and you guys can have a look at that later on. Maybe some bedtime reading. Yeah. And we flesh out different characters in the universe as well. I'm just running through this very quickly because just wanted to give an example of what the characters are in this universe. Right. Okay, now that we fleshed out characters and their inner world and their motivations, we start to think about how they look like visually. And it could really be broken down into these three parts, right? The base is you use a prompt. You use a text prompt, text to image generator prompt, and you create a hero shot. These are basically, if I use an example of what you see on screen right here, the hero shot is the first one on the left, how it looks like from top to bottom. And then we generate the characters, the side and the back as well. And these are part of the ingredients that we hand over to the production team to build off of. So you use the prompt to create a hero shot, and maybe you can also prompt some action, like keep the character running in the rain. The idea is to create as many scenarios as possible. So when you actually start to hand it off to production or you start to create videos out of it, it keeps consistency better because there's a lot of information to work off of. All right, this is the example of how we can do that.
How to create consistent characters with Leonardo AI. If you want more consistent characters in the images that you generate, try our character reference tool. Here's how it works. First, go into the image generator and click on the image icon in the prompt bar. This will bring up the image guidance dropdown. From there, go to character reference and select it. You can either choose an existing image from your uploads or previous generations, or upload a new one. I'll upload a character image. Once selected, you'll see the character appear in the prompt bar. Next, click the small arrow next to the character to adjust the strength from low, mid, or high. I'll choose high for this example, but you can adjust it as needed to get the result that you're after. Now, I'll add a more detailed prompt. The more detailed the prompt, the more consistent the image will be. For example, my prompt describes the character, a male with short black hair, expressive eyes, large spectacles, wearing a baseball cap, standing in a city street. This includes the character and their actions. Next, I'll select a preset. I'll choose Cinematic Kino, which is photographic, but you can also choose presets like Portrait Perfect. I'll stick with Cinematic Kino for now and close the window. Optionally, you can further style your image by adding elements from the image icon, but I'll skip that for now. I hit the Generate button to create my image, and now we have a consistent image of our character based on the uploaded reference. You may need to make some refinements to your prompt as you go. For example, I can change his shirt color to white or adjust the lighting to golden hour. After adjusting, I hit Generate again, and you can see the changes reflected in the image. You may need to try a few times to get the exact results that you want. A few tips for best results. To improve body proportions and costuming, you can train an element on your character's dataset. There's more info on that coming soon. The character reference tool works best with photorealistic faces or characters generated from the same model, but you can also upload AI-generated characters or photos of characters. Now that you know how to use the character consistency tool in Leonardo AI, I recommend experimenting to see what kind of images you can create.
Okay, this is an example using Leonardo AI, but I just want to say that various AI platforms offer more or less the same way of doing things, using target reference images, so on and so forth. So the workflow is pretty much similar. And at the end of this, we will be providing you guys like a AI toolkit, where to go for what, where to get started. So this doesn't feel very foreign for you. But yeah, we are using Leonardo.ai as an example of how you can start to create a character from scratch. Right, this is one of the characters we've created, and below is the prompt that we've used. Right, so the more detailed you are, actually gives you more options for the AI to train off of. And eventually we have a 3D front, side, back view of the character, and this is the final output from that. So my point is, AI is a great way to accelerate our vision, but it doesn't sacrifice the art. It doesn't replace humans. The idea, and as storytellers, the idea and the vision needs to come from you. Even before you start going to AI, have a thought about what the story that you want to tell into the world, right? Like write it down, type it out broadly on the teams before actually going to AI. But what AI can do for you is to brainstorm and iterate from words to images and then to video. So the tools of creation will keep evolving and improve, but us being storytellers, human beings are the forefront, and we drive the story forward. So we go on to Act 2 now, and Eric will share a little bit about the production aspect. What I've taken you through earlier on is from idea, from page to ideas, to brainstorms, to still static images, in which we call like ingredients, right? And with all these stuff, when it gets handed over to Eric, you'll start to see how he uses that to create scenes and scenarios, right? So I'll stop sharing and I'll hand over the time to Eric, and he'll start sharing from there on. Eric, over to you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you guys see me okay? Yeah, so I just want to start first, saying that definitely I'm a student. Every day I'm learning new ways to approach this. New tools are coming out. AI is changing so fast. There's always something new coming out. I'm sure you guys have seen different video models, and Joel has talked about it some already. But I will share just a video example I want to show you really quick, just to show you how much the video models have just changed in the last couple months. So and I'm going to play it a couple times, but I want you to look at the different video models as it plays, so you can see. I'll just do this real quick, and then I'll go back to the deck. All right. So that's just one example. You have Seedance 2.0 at the top. You've got Kling 3.0 in the middle, and you've got Vedo 3.1, which used to be the best at the bottom. But you can see there's a huge difference in its, and Seedance right now is one of the premier models. But it does have some issues around copyright, but I won't quite talk about that too much. Can everyone see the filmmaking workflow from script to screen on their screen? Okay, great. So, we're looking at AI filmmaking, what does it replace? So you've got big teams that are working on films, right? And there's pre-production, there's production, there's post-production. So how much of that can we replace with AI? And I think the reality is some of it, and some of it we can't, right? It's still nice to work with team members. It's people collaborating, coming up with ideas. So what are you going to do? How do you start this? Well, I think a great way to start, of course, is with the screenplay, a short film, a short written scene, a rough story idea. So that's where you can start. What is this idea? And it might be a piece of music. It could be something like that as well. But if you want to build that world, if you want to build that emotion, right, you're going to need a story. And Joel's already talked about this extensively, right? So in our case, we're working with the Sporefall script. But me now, so we're getting handed over, Joel's given me, let's say, a background and a character. And so now I'm thinking, okay, I need to also think like an editor. I'm not the editor, right? But when I pass this over to Bayou, I'm thinking, how is he going to use these clips, right? I also have a background in photography. So I'm also thinking about the shot. How is this going to make me feel, right? How is this going to make other people feel? And there's things like, if you guys have studied like the Kuleshov effect, right? Which is the sense that when I put one image here, and I put another image after, so I just show a face and then I show a bowl of soup, right? Okay, this guy, he's hungry, right? So we already start to imagine and put ourselves in the place when we see these visuals next to each other. So I'm trying to understand, what does this location feel like? What is the mood? how is the lighting? And then, of course, there's a lot of cinematic approaches in terms of camera movement, people sizes in the frame, of course, acting and emotion. So anyway, thinking about all those different things, right? All these different things we come into place and we think about. So one of the big issues, right, is character consistency. It's getting better and better, right? And you're seeing now this ability to lock in characters, lock in props, lock in locations. And it's a huge help because, for example, you might think it's not a big deal, but so for example, if I'm using Google Veo 3.1 and I want my character to come out of the shadow, if it doesn't have some sort of memory or idea of that character, it doesn't know how to bring that character out of that shadow. That character doesn't exist in the shadows. It only exists if I can see like that character's face in front of the screen, and then I tell the AI to do something. That might be a little confusing, but basically the AI tools I'm trying to say are getting better and better at locking in characters, props, and locations. So even something like this, where I show Lena, one of our characters, in multiple environments, this was actually created not because these are actual environments from Sporefall, but to give the AI, in this case, it was Higgsfield, references of this character in different types of lighting. Okay, so after we start to do that and we give the AI these different models or these different assets, you know, when I start to develop this, it's like, okay, does this character feel real? Is it a generic tone, or is it like a very specific feel to this story? And does the location support the story? I mean, obviously there's an intuitive part to this, right? When I'm creating these visuals in the video format, but you know, I'm still in the background, I'm thinking about those things. Here's a rough example, not rough example. Here's literally some of the first visuals we ever created for Sporefall. And it was in that storyboard format. What would it look like? You know, if these meteors hit the Earth, what would the future city look like? If, you know, so this was specifically done in that storyboard format to get that sort of, generic's not the right word, but just that kind of more universal look of where the story could go. What does it actually look like when, you know, me, Joel, and Bayu are actually trying to put this all together? Well, it's more detailed, right? It's here's the shot number, here's kind of what section, what the on-screen visual could be, what the voiceover is, are there any specific you know, potential music, and what would, or you know, musical effects, etc., and what would the visual prompt for, like, let's say in this case you see Veo 3.1, but you know, it could be different, it could morph. This would also change too, depending on what assets you're using, and I'll get to that in a second here, because even that's changing. But so we're thinking of like how one shot leads to another, and you know, how that's of course making the audience feel when they watch. So in Google Flow, it might be a lot of you know, iterations of specific images, like I'm storyboarding, right? And like, so using Google Flow, which is Google's product, which inside of it have, let's say, Nano Banana. I'm sure you guys have heard of Nano Banana. If you're looking in AI, it's one of the, you know, standards right now for consistency in visuals. So yeah, moving on from that, there are 3 ways we can output a video, right? There's text to video, image to video, and video to video. And even this will probably morph in the future. So text to video is like great for brainstorming. I just say, you know, a pink dragon flying over the ocean as the sun is setting, or whatever, right? Or a futuristic car in 2138 in, you know, Jakarta, right? So I could do that and I can get an idea, visualize it, right? Just text to video. But it's terrible for character consistency, right? Unless I have a reference image of my character, even if I have a huge prompt of what my character looks like, it's inconsistent. But to just brainstorm, you know, you can get some interesting things from text to video, especially I think we've seen with Seed Dance 2.0. It's quite interesting. So image to video is basically kind of the standard right now, right? It's what we did a lot of our workflow with. So you might have basically the large language model help you. So like whatever, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever you're using, to help you with maybe the visual, right? And then you create these assets, and then you create this image, and let's say it's in Nano Banana or Nano Banana Pro, Nano Banana 2, right? And then you take that into something like Higgsfield, which is an aggregator, but it could be, Seedance 2.0, it could be Kling 3.0, right? You're choosing those models. And I think what we're going to see more and more of is video to video, and it's getting better, but that's because it's going to get that nuance of human performance or that environment. And this is where you actually feed the AI a video, and then it's going to overlay something on top. So it could be like motion capture almost, right? Like I'm doing a performance, and then it copies my reaction, but then it puts it into the video, not necessarily just directly like face to face, but actually as that action is taking place, if that makes sense. But I think we'll see more complexities around that, things like Gaussian splats, 3D worlds, holographic worlds. The tech around that is changing, and we'll see more and more, and it'll probably become more interactive as well. So I know, okay, that's a lot, right? But this is really what it looks like, right? Iterations. I'm creating hundreds of iterations. In this case, and you'll see on the bottom, it's Nano Banana 2 or Nano Banana Pro, and it's also, you'll see this is Google Veo 3.1. And there's a lot of inconsistencies, and I think this is going to get better and better. But I personally, when I was making these, dealt with a lot of inconsistencies. One of the things that's nice about kind of choosing a visual nowadays is in something like Higgsfield, and again, it could be in different platforms. But this idea is where I give it one prompt, and then it creates me a grid. And from that grid, I can choose one of these images to upscale. Why is this important? It gives me variety, but it also costs me less money. So I can choose which option I want and then only use that one. Whereas if I didn't have this grid, I'd have to create 9 different images, right? And so it costs me more money. Anyway, just if you're trying to save money, this is a good way to do it. Do a grid output, and we're doing it in the vertical format, but of course you might be doing it in the horizontal format. Some of the pain points can be like, for example, this is a pretty simple, well, you think it's a pretty simple visual, but I think I did around 100 iterations to try and get this right. There was always something weird happening. His comms would morph. He was smoking 2 cigarettes. Something weird would happen. His flow. Even Bayou had to kind of choose a specific edit point when he did the edit. So again, thankfully, this is getting better where the models aren't hallucinating as much or making up weird stuff. But it is one factor of AI filmmaking. So what do we want? We want control, right? So this is what you're starting to see now. You're seeing more and more control inside of things like Higgsfield. You see on the top left, you got scenes you can lock in, characters you can lock in, locations you can lock in. On the bottom, you see this. You see it's auto, but what that is, it's just multi-shot, and I can control. So if I have a scene, I might be trying to understand. Okay, I've given the AI one shot. Now, what could an alternate shot look like that? And you see in the director panel, you see the 2 characters. So those are references. The movement can be audio, but you can also switch it to, let's say, orbit, dolly in, dolly out, zoom in, a lot of different options. So anyway, these are different panels. The whole point is it's all about control to kind of do your artistic creation. So control, again, comes back to what is the purpose of our scene, our purpose of our characters, what's emotionally important for this story, right? Am I conveying the right emotion? And that's why we're doing this, to try and understand what's the best thing for the story. So this is an example of like what a multi-shot might look like. So right, I give it an image, let's say the one on the left, but that second image you're seeing with their faces, the AI has actually helped with this multi-shot because it knows the character. Now, there's even an issue with this though. For example, the Lena on the right looks pretty consistent, but Eli on the left, he looks a little bit off, right? So I wouldn't actually be able to use this shot, but still, it gives me a sense of what could a secondary shot look like to the action that's happening. So, I think this is where it's important to come back to working with a team of people, or having some sort of sounding board to get that clarity. What am I trying to achieve? What's our story? Of course, there's the technical aspect, number 2, of consistency, but generally the AI tools are already helping you with that. Then there's the iteration, right? Literally hundreds, and I mean, we have probably, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 different outputs for just the stuff we've done for Sporefall. And then there's the taste. And I think that comes back to the vision. What was Joel's vision in this script? And then how do we bring that to life in a way that we also think is great for the characters and also just cool to look at as well. So it's not just about prompts, right? It's about the story, the mood, cinematic consistency. So for you guys, what could be something you could start with? You start small, 1 character, 1 location, 1 short scene, 1 emotion. Just try something small and try to build that scene. Okay. What's a key takeaway here is that AI can let you explore maybe something you've never thought possible to explore before. You can visualize right away, and you can refine those ideas, and you can build worlds more quickly. But I think a key part for me is have fun, and do it with friends, and learn as you go along. Yeah, I'm every day I'm a student. There's so many new things to learn. I think that's it for me. I'll pass it on to the main maestro, which is Bayu, who really brings it all together.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. So yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. You guys can see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is in the editing part, right? So seeing Sporefall from the editor's table. This is how I edit the stuff from Eric, who made all the assets, and then jump into the editor's table. Okay. So before we continue, let's play some games. So place your bets how many generate items to make this clip. So A, 1 shot less than 5, C, 10 to 20 shots, and D, I lost count and almost quit filmmaking. So yeah, so see this scene right in the left. Just type in your answer. Okay. Yep. So the question may be, this is not really one shot here that I use. There's a 2 shot, and maybe Eric take 10 to 20 or maybe more than that. But the point is, AI is a magic button, so the answer for 1 shot, you get the one that you like, and you save a clip. No, it's not gonna happen. You have to do many attempts on that. So from this many attempts, you still need to curate it or short it the clips that you're gonna put into the timeline. So yeah, that's the as an editor, that's the main point, to curate it or to short whole asset into what you're gonna use in the timeline. So the next one will be this is the reality. It's a relentless grind of curation, where you save one clip, maybe 20 or more imperfect clips behind it. But from imperfect clip, you still can use that part of the clips. So if you have like maybe 8 to 10 seconds clip, there's a glitch there, or maybe there's not perfect, you still can use part of the that particular clip and put it into the timeline of edit. So yeah, you can see
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
See, right? That's the imperfection.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
The cigarette come again. Okay, this
Here
is
I come. Oh, here I
completely
come.
not
Oh.
imperfect, not perfect clip, and we still can use it. Actually, I use this clip in the main edit because I like the composition, I like the clip itself, but we can play a bit on that in the editing timeline. So that's why we shorten a clip inside a clip. This is how we can edit it.
Hostiles, 2 minutes out.
Okay, I will play one more time. Okay, so we break down. This is
Hostile.
okay. This is another take. So it contain of two clips here. This is the first clip, and then on top of it is the second clip that not perfect. So you just use this clip first, and then cut into the next clip. And what I add here, for example, I use transform to make camera movement. So we see the pager here. So it indicates where the sound is coming in.
Hostiles, 2 minutes out.
Then move to the right of his face. So we hide the imperfect cigarette, and then we use this part.
Hostiles, 2 minutes out.
Okay. And then the visual strategy, this is the speed and the bridge. Rather than that method, you can use phase-space cutting. If you can make it perfect, make it fast. So it will overwhelm the viewer's eye, so they don't have time to notice the eye jitter or imperfect texture. This is the timeline of the edit. There's many cut here. Sometimes I use face cut also. I will play the example. So there will be two methods: the phase-space cut and then the J cut. I will explain that later after the footage play. Okay, so if you guys notice here, this is the fast cut happen. So you can hide the imperfect texture or maybe imperfect clip. So just use maybe half second for each clip. So, and it's important to you to match with the sound effect and the music score below it, so it match with the visual. And then the J cut and L cut is a basic editing technique that you can use, and this technique mostly used in the movie or cinema. The L cut, so I'm gonna try to describe what is J cut, what is L cut. So this is the graphic of L cut and J cut. So L cut is when the visual is still in the scene one, and then the cut happen, but the sound from the visual from the scene one still play in the next scene, scene 2 or scene B, you name it. And that's why it called L cut. And the J cut is the opposite of the L cut. So the visual of scene 1 still playing there, and then the cut happened. Before the cut happened, the audio from the scene 2 is already here in the visual of scene 1. So I'm gonna play it one more time. Right. If you notice there, the guy chopping is play while the scene with the lamp is still going on the frame. That's why we call it the J cut. And then this kind of edit is gonna make your flow of your video smooth, and the audience will feel smooth also. And the next one will be
There was a time when Leonara.
the match cut. So this is to show before and after, present and past, different scene, etc. Maybe different, different stories. So in scene one, you talk about something, and then in the scene two, you will be talking about anything else. But we bridge that with the match cut, so the visual have to look the same like this one. So I'm gonna play the example here.
There was a time when Leonara thrived, a city of light, of purpose.
Yeah, so we try to show the present time here, and then the past time of Leonara. Okay, it's kind of basic technique. And the next will be
Then came the long dark.
the flash or light transition, used to bridge in of a bright burst of white light or a subtle lens flare. So it's kind of when the lights come into the screen in the scene from scene one, and then you can combine it with the scene two. So I'm gonna play it so you know what I mean here.
Then came the long dark. It took everything from us.
Okay, so
It took everything from us.
the transition happened here from the meteor shower. So the exposure light is bursting here, and we cut into the next scene. So but other than this way, we can use lens flare, or maybe light burn, and then lens flare, something like that, But don't my tip is use it wisely. Too much light flare without a specific purpose will make your edit look cheap. So, yep. The next thing is color consistency. Okay, so since AI clips have baked in color, so for this Sportfall video, we decided to make the color in the first place. So like the image, the stills we made in the ad platform, and then the video, so they look almost the same. I've been almost consistent, but sometimes the tint is shift, or maybe the contrast is a bit different from scene A or scene B or clip 1 or clip 2, and this is we can maintain the color consistency. And how we can use it, we can use match the color with the comparison view in Premiere Pro or any editing software. But here I'm gonna share you what I use here. So actually we can use it in every edit, maybe not only Sportfall, but general edit. So yeah, you can use comparison view here. You open the tab of Lumetri Color, and there you pick your reference from this part, and then the desired clip that you want to match with this scene, and then you click the apply match. This is a good start to make the color look similar, but sometimes the result is not really good. So yeah, use your judgment and use your intuition to do another tweaks. Maybe use basic correction. Basic correction will something like exposure, shadow, and light. So the result from the color words match here in Lumetri Color, you can enhance more with these other tools. So yeah, but it is a good start when you try to simply matching the shot. And then okay, cutaways, the glitch killers. So yeah, the challenging part of editing this AI footages is sometimes when the dialogue happen, you will see the mouth is not matching with the audio, or maybe the movement of the mouth is not really natural. So what we can do to to hide that, we can use cutaway. So like a reaction of the environment, or maybe the the other speaker reaction. We change the camera. So yeah, I'm gonna play this so you can see.
Is that?
Shh, slow your breathing. Through your nose. Good God. The spore pathogen has begun to spread, and we can't outrun it forever. It's not safe here. We need to keep moving.
Okay, so the cutaway here happened like this. I use a J-cut, a little bit J-cut here. So while the camera still face the guy walking there, the dialogue happened a little bit, and then start with the face, and the cutaways happen here. The reaction of this guy showing something is not something happened in the background. Maybe he hear someone talking, something like that. And then we back to the dialogue, cutaway again to hide it. Yep. So
Can't outrun it forever.
so this kind of technique can enhance your editing, your flow. So it's not only stay with the dialogue happen, but also you can show the environment, etc., something like that, to enhance the story. And the next technique will be the camera shake. Is built in the Adobe Premiere Pro. So this scene is it's like an action. If action is identical with the camera movement, handheld, and it's not always smooth camera, but sometimes we use camera shake to emphasize the human panicking in the scene. Okay, how you can apply this effect is you just put the camera shake from the effect control into your from the effect panel into your effect controls here, and you can use your parameters to find the desired camera shake that you want, and voila, this is the result. And then the sound design tips, I'm gonna share a 3-layer rule, stacking frequency from low, mid, and high frequency. So instead of using only one whooshes, or maybe one, you name it, you can use stacking, so from low, mid, and high frequency, so the SFX has an impact, not hollow. So yeah, here is low frequency. You hear like a deep and harder to make out, like traffic noises, ambience noises. And then the mid frequency will be something like people chatting or chatter in the background. And the high frequency, you can hear something like sirens, or you know the high frequency sounds will be. And this is the sample. Okay, there's so many action in this particular scene, right? From the meteor shower, the impact happened, and then the crowded in the background. You have to match with the action behind it, and also you have to layer it down based on the low, mid, and high frequencies. If you hear carefully, there will be kind of siren in the background. Yep, something like that. So every movement in the video, you have to translate it into the sound. What it will be here, what sound it will be here as when the video is happening or playing in the frame, right? And then, yep, that's takeaway for me. Assembles the pixels, but the editor creates the poles. Don't be a button pusher. Be a surgeon who knows how to hide the scars and build a heartbeat. Yep. Thanks, guys. Maybe some question. You can drop it in
Thank you
chat.
so much, Bayu. We will go to Q&A, and this would be a question to basically all of us. I'm gonna share screen if Bayu can come out of it. Bayu, can you stop sharing? There we go. I hope everything has been quite informative for everybody. We've almost come to the end of our little workshop here, and I'm sure you guys have questions. Feel free to ask any questions. Drop down. Well, we have some time to take maybe like 3 questions, and then for more questions, please put them in the chat box, and we'll answer them later on at a separate channel in Discord. We'll share with you after this as well our toolkit. These are free AI resources that beginners can use with very minimum either purchase or even some of them are free. So if anybody wants to unmute your mic right now for any questions, please go ahead and do that, or you can put them in the chat box and we'll try our best to answer them.
There is a 2 question from SMP Swasta. There are 2 questions. Can you answer it, Joel? So will we
Yeah, I'm
be
looking at it right
creating
now.
storytelling in the form of films using AI? And will the storytelling be in English or just Indonesian?
So, I mean, obviously, it's your story, it's your vision. Use the language that you're familiar with. I think when it comes to the hackathon, subtitles are very useful. If it's Bahasa, you can have English subtitles so we can understand it. But after this as well, even before the hackathon, just to get you guys maybe testing out and getting warm, get a test run before the hackathon, we have a short, not assignment, but more like you have a look at the toolkit and you can download the certain platforms that we suggest and you can actually play along with it and then share with us. We'll help give a bit of feedback. And then with that, you can use that for the hackathon as well. So use the language that you're comfortable with, I think, and familiar with and in your head. So
The
next question I'm
second-
looking at is, after getting the image, what is a good and free application to edit it easily? There are tons of applications and platforms out there, and there are ways to sort of, some of them actually have credits that either replenish by the month or by the week. So we put together, again, in that toolkit that we'll share later on, sort of method to make use of the best way to make use of not spending money to use these platforms. We'll show that in the toolkit later on. And
Okay.
I think that's a question in Bahasa. Bayu,
Yes.
you want to try to take that?
Dari Pak
Sudah,
Singgi,
Bu.
Bayu.
Oke, bagaimana mengatasi perbedaan kalimat dialog dengan gerakan bibir? Oke, dan mengatur buat pelan kencangnya karakter suara. Oke, jadi di sini karena kita create banyak ya, jadi klipnya nggak cuma 1 kali create, jadi ada beberapa create. Seperti yang saya katakan tadi, untuk mengatasinya adalah kita tetap bisa mengambil bagian-bagian mana nih yang masih kira-kira bisa dipakai untuk di editing timeline-nya itu sendiri. Misalkan, jadi kamu mau contohnya ya, misalkan nama saya Bayu, saya bekerja di Singapura gitu kan. Itu kan 1 dialog ya, 1 kalimat. Ibaratkan itu adalah 1 footage, tapi kita create beberapa footage dengan dialog tersebut. Nah, dari beberapa creation itu kita pilih nih, mana yang kira-kira mulutnya pas, terus speednya pas, baru kita gabungin dari beberapa footage itu. Nah, terus supaya menutup cut-nya juga begitu terlihat, ya kita pakai cutaway yang tadi seperti saya katakan, kita kasih environment clips and then reaction clips, something like that. Gitu sih. Kalau untuk pelan cepatnya, kita bisa dubbing juga pakai tools yang lain, kita bisa pakai 11 Labs. Jadi dari audionya kita ekstrak, kita masukkan ke Eleven Labs dulu. Jadi from audio to audio. Jadi di situ kita bisa atur kan ada beberapa adjustment. Kalau pakai Eleven Labs. Jadi Bapak bisa search aja dulu Eleven Labs itu salah satu platform yang kita gunakan untuk mengatasi voice issue itu. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Keep the questions coming. Unfortunately, we won't have the time to answer all these, but we are actually gonna port you guys over to Discord right now, and we'll share the AI toolkit resource. And we also have a channel that we can keep asking questions and learning from each other. So let me just share my screen really quickly again, because I think it came out earlier
Ya,
on.
Bapak
Can you see
Ibu,
my screen?
Bapak Ibu pertanyaan yang ada tidak akan dijawab di sini, tapi kita sudah mempunyai satu channel yang namanya Discord yang akan dipresent oleh Joel. Pertanyaan-pertanyaan ini akan dijawab di sana. Silakan, teman, Joel.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the screen right now, if you have your mobile phone with you, you can scan the QR code, and that should take you to the Discord channel. And there you have all the instructions and where to download the AI video toolkit, and we can carry on the conversation from there. So let's try this right now. I will open it up because I already have it open while you guys scan and get onto the channel. And if you have any questions or any IT difficulties, please drop into the comments. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, this is the Discord screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So once you click through, you should be able to see something like that. And it's basically an invitation from us. It's basically for the community that are gathered here today for the AI Storytelling Club. Go ahead and click accept the invite, and it will bring you into Discord. You will access that. You can access that either on the phone, mobile, or on your computer, no problem. So you have that welcome message. First, when you land in on our welcome channel, you'll tell us basically what we're trying to do, and these are our rules. And if you scroll down to the bottom, there is this file called studentairesources.pdf. Any of you having any difficulties so far? Are you guys able to come into the channel? I see some of you guys already here. Not everybody yet. See 6 of us in here. Let's wait a little bit for folks to come in. But in the meantime, oh, sorry, you guys need the QR code again. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't I flash this permanently here for you guys to scan? So for the guys who've managed to join the channel already, please try to click on that PDF and let me know if you can view it. Okay, people coming in. Thank you for sharing that on the chat. Okay, 1 second. Are you guys able to access the Student AI Resource PDF? Yeah. Okay, 1 second. So you should be able to click on the PDF, and that takes you to that resource page. If you're looking at it on my screen now, it's just a bunch of resources that we put together for you guys to go and try to explore. You look here, there are some AI video generation tools. Some of them are free. Actually, most of them are free, the ones that we put together. click through and, on your own time, download it if it requires download, or just try to start image generation from there, right? For video editing software as well, we recommend CapCut or Shortcut. CapCut is best known for speed. It doesn't lag so much, but there's more control if you use Shortcut. But some of you might prefer one over the other. I would suggest go ahead and try whichever works for you. Stick with that. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. We put together sort of like a strategy to maximize the free credits for you to use, because different platforms have different credit replenishment sort of like guidelines, right? Sometimes they run out and sometimes they replenish. So if you want to try to do this on this sequential order, say at the start of the week, you can try Kling AI. It gives you 66 daily credits, right? Try to maximize all your credits at that point, do your generation. But also one note of advice is, because these takes credits, even though they're free, maybe have a rough idea of what you want to do first, imagine first and brainstorm first before actually going to the AI platform and using the credits out. So this is the way to try to get as much as possible on the free plan. Let me know if it's helpful. And we have a summary of all the tools put together in the last slide. All right.
Okay.
So
Joel,
you should be able to have that.
Okay, question, Joel. When you do day
Yes.
1, day 2, day 3, day 4, are you working on the same character, for example, or different character?
Yeah, so that's a good question. That's up to you. You can, in order to maximize the credits, maybe you can plan first in your head. Like, for this first week, day 1 to day 4, let's say my objective is not to create the video immediately. My objective is to brainstorm and make sure I have a character. I want to create the character that is still image, the front, the side, and the back, and I want to create a character in a scenario and just focus on that one character. Maybe you do that for that 1 week. But some of you have very basic, maybe storylines, and maybe in 1 week you can actually create the whole scenario, like what happens, the different characters in the different scenarios from the start of the story to the end of the story, and then the final video output. So it's really up to you. But I would suggest plan that strategy in your head first, before going there to test, because every time you test, you're using the credits. All right.
Okay.
Very quickly, one last thing is I want to share my slides. Okay. So we've created this channel for you guys who are part of this workshop. There's so many good questions that we don't have the time to answer at this point, but this is a great way for us to keep in touch even before leading up to the hackathon, as you guys are trying out using the free credits to generate your video stories. Please feel free to drop in your work under if you look at the left, there's a share your work channel. Drop in your work there and we can all feedback and we can all learn from each other. Yeah. Inga, yes, there's a question?
Yes. Where they should put the question, maybe you need to put up the, one channel for question and answer.
Yeah, you guys can actually put it in general for the time being. For
you
the
want to put
questions,
Okay.
yeah, for the question that comes from the workshop, because eventually that will just also evolve to be a very general chat.
Okay.
But feel free to say hi, drop emojis, ask questions, and when you're ready to share your work, drop it into the share your work channel, and then we can all feedback and learn from each other.
Okay, we want to take a group photo now before
let's do
Bayu
that.
and Eric left us. All right, Sekretariat bisa tolong dibantu?
What should we do? Do we need to do something like that? Like that?
I don't know. Sekretariat bisa
Hey,
tolong
we'll do a
dibantu?
heart. Come on, Sprawl Fall guys. Come on, let's do a heart. Oh, we can do resist. All right.
Okay,
Let's do a
Bapak
heart. I
Ibu.
think we're all peace loving. Let's do a heart. Okay.
Ya, open kamera semuanya. Ada 2 slide, ada 4 slide di saya.
You got
Mohon
it?
ditunggu ya. 1, 2, 3. Mohon ditunggu. 1, 2, 3. Ya, tetap tahan.
Tahan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for having us. Really appreciate having this time to share with you guys. And if you're feel free to drop your thoughts and your questions in the chat, and come along to sporefall.com and let us know what you think as well.
Okay.
Thank you,
Now,
guys.
thank you, Joel. Thank you, Eric. And thank you, Bayu, for joining us. Now, the most important one is how you can register to Hackathon. All right. I'd like to introduce Trevor. Sekretariat bisa tolong di tayang. But you are welcome to stay, ya, Joel, and the team. Oke, sekretariat bisakah ditayang? Ya, session ini akan dibawakan oleh Trevor Fong. Trevor dan Ginkai adalah dua pakar yang membuild atau sebagai founder dari Edify. Trevor sudah berkecimpung di dalam bidang ini sudah 25 tahun, ya, dalam bidang tech dan media landscape. Dan beliau juga mempunyai inisiatif yang disebut dengan I'm Logos. Itu adalah suatu transmedia universe, dan dia juga mempunyai bisnis, dia mengepalai business development di Immersive dan juga enterprise edtech solution di EDITE, di mana dia juga sebagai founder. Oke, Trevor dan Ginkai adalah dua orang yang key di dalam hackathon ini, dalam mulai dengan founding the Edify, dan kemudian kita berbicara bersama sehingga terjadilah hackathon ini, bukan hanya untuk Indonesia tapi juga Singapura, Filipina, dan Korea Selatan. Oke, Trevor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ibu Inga. And Joel, just want to say a big thank you on behalf of Edify. You're part of us as well. Great job. So rich the content. And I know you guys spent so much time to actually prepare for that. So thank you so much, Joel. Would you like to share with us also how the community can support Spore? What's the latest update? When are you guys going to be launching any of your stuff?
Yeah, sure. Very quickly before, don't want to take too much time from the hackathon sign up, but guys, we're actually live. It's sporefall.com. I'll put it in the group chat. The whole idea is for people to come, to watch, to comment, and you can actually take part as well. It's a very interactive process. We are launched, we're live, and we are quite thankful to have Variety also cover us and write about our story, as we shared a little bit earlier on. This is really just a start. We're going to be dropping more episodes as the weeks go by. So come on and sign up for secret behind the scenes information. Submit your information on email. Just come in and have a good time. And if you have any questions, just drop in our Discord chat. Let's carry on the conversation for the hackathon as well. So I'm back to you, Trevor. Thanks so much.
Awesome. And I think I just want to reiterate, I think this is the heart why Ginkai and some of us came together to start Edify. It's really as a community, we want to encourage each other. So as a creative, you're in this call, we're encouraging you, to actually expand your giftings and share your storytelling with the world. And as a community, we also want to support you and see how we can help you to launch some of your creative works as well. Now, my job today is actually to talk to us about the Creative Hackathon and how we can register for it, right? So we had two sessions, one with Ginkai and David. Maybe, I'm not sure how many of you attended the session last week, but it was also fantastic. We actually learned the art of storytelling. And this Saturday, we actually had, the session from Joel and the team. Now, we haven't started the hackathon yet. That's going to happen on the 12th to the 20th of June. All right, 12th to the 20th of June. But we're starting registration, all right? So if you already have kind of like been inspired and like thinking about it and you have formed your teams, now is a great time to actually start registering, because we're going to be launching the registration today already, right? Now, one of the things that I also wanted to highlight, I'm not going to go through all of this, But we talked about using generative AI to actually help you to craft your stories. But it doesn't have to be only AI. So just a highlight, it can be live action narrative. You could do a documentary and testimonial of real stories of people and events. You could also do anime and motion graphics also as well. So all these are acceptable formats for the Creative Hackathon, and feel free, to be able to submit your creativity. Now, whether you're a professional or an amateur creator, we want to welcome you. We've seen from professionals like Joel, Edric, Eric, and Bayu. They're professionals and they're really top of the game in their craft using professional tools. But if you're an amateur, if you're a student, we want to encourage you to participate as well, right? There's no age too young. If you feel you want to get your story out, this is where we journey alongside with you to help that happen. All right. It will be an online event, and obviously there are participating countries: Singapore, Indonesia, South Korea, Philippines. We're actually expanding into more countries also as well. Now, when you join the competition, just like Joel had two other team members, right? Each team member is very, very important. You actually contribute in a different area. Some are the story writers, some are the producers, some of the visual artists. All right. So you can actually do it as an individual, or you can register as a team if your team is ready. The third option is that you could register and then look for a team also as well. So there are three options, right? One, I am an individual creative artist and I just want to participate by myself and show my works. That's fine. Number two, I want to join. I have a team ready of 4 other people or 3 other people, and we want to sign up. And the third one is that I'm looking for a team, to join. All right. So these are the 3 options. The other thing I do want to emphasize before we go into the registration is the different themes that's happening. So it's very important that you now are starting to think, when you're starting to create your stories, make sure that the stories are around the 7 themes that we have put out: reawakening, reconciliation, you have redemption here, you have resilience, renewal, revelation, and restoration. Now, we will give you the link to this website. We also have this translated in Indonesia Bahasa, so you can actually read the details there. All right. Now, I'm going to go further down. There's FAQ, so that you don't have to actually remember what I'm sharing with you. Or if you're a teacher on this call and you're going to communicate that to your students, all this information is on the website. All right. You can actually find how do I register, how do I form my team, how much does this cost? It's free. This Creative Hackathon, we're getting sponsors, so that it can be free for this first hackathon that we're doing. How is your IP protected? If you're creating something, how do we actually make sure that your IP is protected? What language? I think one of the questions, will this hackathon be conducted, or the content that you're creating? These instructions are all here. Now, when you go right to the bottom of the website, you will actually see a button here to see click to register here for the hackathon. All right. So if you're ready to register for the hackathon, click this pink button and it will bring you to this particular stage here where you see Edify and Artworker. And then it allows you to actually use your social account to continue. Now, you can't use your normal email. You need to either log in via Google, or if you have Apple account, you need to log in via Apple. All right. So that is the register button. Now, one thing I would like everyone to do, if you can, is to subscribe for an update also as well. I know you're on Discord, but please make sure that you subscribe for updates, because you might not be ready with your team or might not be ready to register yet. That's totally fine. But you might say, I want to be updated, as the things go along. I know you guys are having more workshops. Please make sure that I'm invited. Please sign up on your email here so that we can actually get in touch with you. If there are any things that's coming out, we will actually email to you so that you get the latest also as well. All right. So please remember to actually sign up for an update on the website link that we will provide you at the end of this workshop. All right. So that's quite important. Now, there are also further instructions on the registrations of the FAQ. Ibu Inga, just take note that these are new things, because We just recently added it in yesterday. We do have it also in Bahasa. So if you can see all these instructions that I'm giving to you now, you don't have to remember. It's all actually written down here. We will give you the link. You can actually see what are the steps that you need to take, how to register, how to sign up, and how to create a team and join a team. All right. So all the instructions are here. All right. Now, before I go into the registration process, which will take maybe about 10 minutes, Jin Kai, is there anything else you want to add before I moved on to the registration? Are you there? If not, I will go to it.
Sorry, my
we
audio
need-
was off. But just want to
no
tell you,
problem.
good job. Please carry on. Thank you so much.
Trevor, we need to stop at exactly 5 minutes to 1 p.m. Singapore, yeah, or
Got
5
it.
minutes to 12. Thank you.
Got it. All right. So now the next one is actually our partners called Artworker. This is our South Korean partnership with Artworker. Now, some of you are wondering what is Artworker and why are they related to Edify Hackathon. So very quickly, you are an Artworker, okay? All of us are creatives, and Artworker is a global platform to actually allow creatives like yourself, whether you're an artist, you're a musician, you're a creative director, you're a producer, they allow you to actually participate in this platform so that in the future you can actually show your works and put your portfolio onto this online platform. All right, it's a global platform that they're building, and it'll be great that you can also be part of this. So, and how are we involved with the Artworker is that we are collaborating with them on the sign up. So when you click this button, so now I'll go straight into this and I'll go quite quickly now. When you click this register now button, right, it will bring you to the Artworker Edify, right? And then you need to use your social account. Now, very important button here, you can actually change the language, right, to Bahasa Indonesia, right on the right corner. And then you can actually go in here and then you select your account, all right? So obviously, most of you will have a Google account to be able to log in. If not, you can use your Apple account. And from there, you will actually go into the account name. So I just put here Trev I am Logos, right? And then it has my email. I'll just choose my creative area. I'll put my experience and my role. I'll put here producer, creative producer, and then I click next. Now you can take your time to fill up these things, but I'm just doing it very speedily. Now, what I'm doing here is not registering for the hackathon. Right now, I'm creating an account in Artworker. So that's the first step I need to do. I need to create an account in Artworker, right? So then it allows me to actually, let's say, put a face there, put my card. Okay, I'll just do it very quickly. Let me see whether I can create this, put here. And so you can actually create your portfolio and your details. You can actually upload your stuff. I am a creative director, and then put your background, producer, and then you need to actually click the terms of use and privacy policy of as well. All right. So all these things, please enter, and then of course it will allow you to sign up from there. Sorry, I got locked out. Let me just go in again. Okay, I need a username. I put here again, Trevor I am Logos.
We can see the full screen, Trevor.
Okay, let me go to the full screen.
Maybe
Hold on.
yeah.
Can you see the full screen?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right, good. Here and next. Next. Post artist. Terms of view, this and this, and sign up. Okay. So after you sign up, you are now registered under Artworker. Okay, so you now have become an artist in Artworker. Now this page you see is success, right? Now you're actually at the Creative Hackathon page. And in the Creative Hackathon page, it's very simple. You have a dashboard, right? And you have 3 steps that you need to take, 3 simple steps that you need to take. You just need to register for the hackathon. Then you either choose whether you're solo or team creator, and then the last one is your project submission. So let me quickly go to registration. So this is where you are registering for the hackathon. Please make sure that this name, you need to make sure that this is the correct name that you want to put, because this is the name that we will register for you in the thing. Director, put here, and read the participant agreement and the privacy policy and liability waiver. This is quite important because all these things are the rules and terms of the hackathon, as well as protecting your content as well. So you need to read it, right? First, before you go on, you read it. And after you read the whole thing, and then right at the end, I believe you can go back. This is quite new. Can you see? And then you click it and you're done and you submit. Okay, so you're now registered for the hackathon. You have completed step 1. Now, this is the most important step that I will just spend the last 2 minutes on, which is to actually create or join a team. Now, you can create a solo team or you can create a team or join a team. All right. Here, I'm just going to join a team. And you can see that actually there has been a few teams here. If you're a team creator, you would have already created a team. And then if you're going to join the team, you can join the team. So right now, I'm going to join Awesome Team, right? I think that was done by Monica. It's called Team Awesome. And then I can actually choose, okay, the last few minutes, I'll just spend a bit of time talking about this. It's very important if you're a team leader or a team leader, I think that's very important. You actually need to set this up when you set up your team. Whether number 1, you want a equal joint ownership, meaning that everybody will own the IP together. So for example, for Spore, Joel selects A. That means all his 3 team members equally own the property. All right. Or there's another option where Joel says, no, I'm the primary content producer, and all the rights go to me, and the rest actually acknowledge that is the case. All right. So this is a designated for the primary IP owner. Now you can read more about this inside this description. And the next most important one is the price distribution, right? Whether you're actually splitting it equally amongst all team members, or you want to have a custom split also as well. And as a team member, you just need to agree on all this and then apply for it. And then you're applying to join the team. What will happen is that you have applied for this team. The team creator will then need to accept you before you are part of the team. All right. Now, again, because of time, I want to pause here. I think this is quite self-understanding. If you're not sure, again, as we said, we have created FAQ, frequently asked questions, on how you can actually do it. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and the most important one is the step 4, what you need to choose. All right. So all these instructions are here. Ibu Inga, I'll send you the link and you can actually share with them. So I'm going to stop here 5 minutes just before 1 o'clock. Thank you so much, guys. And I just want to encourage everyone, be excited. We really hope to see your wonderful creations. And I think on behalf of me and Chin Kai, if you also want to volunteer for our team, that's the last one, please write to us. If you want to help out as part of the organizing team, help us with the social media and stuff like this, we really welcome volunteers also as well. Ibu Inga, over to you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Trevor, for a very quick briefing on how to register. Bapak Ibu sekalian, kita sampai pada akhir acara ini. Kalau saya boleh berikan closing remark adalah sebagai berikut, bahwa jelas dikatakan oleh Joel bahwa AI tidak dapat menggantikan manusia. Manusia selalu menjadi arsiteknya. Dan storytelling juga dibuat oleh manusia. AI adalah tool yang dipakai untuk melakukan eksplorasi tentang apa, tentang karakter, tentang environment atau lingkungan, background-nya seperti apa. AI juga bisa diajak untuk brainstorming, ya, dan bisa dengan AI kita bisa melakukan iterasi. Saat ini dengan kemajuan AI, terutama di dalam dunia media seperti pembuatan film atau video, bukan hanya perusahaan-perusahaan besar yang bisa ikut bermain di dalam bisnis ini, tetapi juga individual. Bapak Ibu sekalian sudah melihat contohnya Bayu, dia tinggal di Yogyakarta, dia bergabung di dalam tim ini. Dan banyak lagi Bayu-Bayu lainnya di Jawa Tengah, di Jawa Timur, bahkan di daerah-daerah bagian timur, Indonesia bagian timur, sebagai freelance, mereka itu mendapat kontrak dari luar negeri untuk melakukan seperti itu. Dalam hal ini Bayu melakukan editing. Ada juga yang di dalam produser. Tadi sudah dijelaskan bagaimana dalam stage 1, pre-production, Joel membuat ide berubah menjadi karakter dan environment, kemudian Eric menerjemahkan visi Joel ke dalam urutan AI cinematic melalui prompt engineering, konsistensi karakter, dan juga membuat prototipe yang berulang-ulang, dan yang terakhir mematangkan semuanya ini baik dari segi gambar, dari segi pencahayaan, dari segi suara, itu dilakukan oleh Bayu dalam editing. Bapak Ibu sekalian, kita sampai pada akhir daripada sesi ini. Kita akan melakukan doa penutup. Daftar hadir apakah sudah diinformasikan, dan saya juga barusan sudah mengirimkan cara pendaftaran dalam bahasa Indonesia. Apa yang dijelaskan oleh Trevor sudah saya masukkan di dalam PDF dan ada di dalam chat. Apakah ada daftar hadir sudah diumumkan? Yus, sekretariat, boleh tolong di link untuk daftar hadir, boleh tolong, atau Susan boleh tolong di publish di chat agar semua bisa mengisi daftar hadir tersebut. Halo sekretariat, boleh dibantu daftar hadir? Ya, sudah ada ya, sudah daftar hadir, boleh tolong diklik. Tolong ditayangkan, kita akan masuk ke dalam doa penutup oleh Ibu Mawar.
Selamat siang, Bapak.
Sekretariat. Ya, Bu Mawar sudah siap? Oke. Bu Mawar sebagai pengurus juga bidang 7 dalam transformasi pengembangan MPK akan menutup acara kita dari pagi ini sampai siang ini dengan doa. Dan kami I'm aware that there is so many different other religion here. Maybe you can pray in your based on your religion. But Bu Mawar will lead us in the Christian. Bu Mawar.
Ya. Terima kasih Bu Inge. Selamat siang. Thank you for Edify team, Mr. Ginkai and Mr. Trevor and all, Mr. Eric, Mr. Bayu, Mr. Joel ya, for today. Now we want to pray. Let's pray. Bapak, kami bersyukur untuk hari ini kalau kami boleh mengikuti sungguh-sungguh sebuah pengetahuan yang luar biasa. Kami mau berdoa biar setiap peserta Tuhan berkati mempunyai panggilan yang sama seperti Edify yang sungguh-sungguh ingin mewarnai Christian worldview di dunia perfilman. Kami mohon biarlah berkat Tuhan turun buat kami semua sehingga kami boleh sungguh-sungguh dicerdaskan. Terima kasih untuk Edify tim yang sudah Tuhan pakai, berkati segala usaha dan segala sesuatu yang dilakukan. Sungguh-sungguh Tuhan supaya memuliakan Tuhan. Sebentar kami akan berpisah, Tuhan berkati kami di dalam pekerjaan kami. Di dalam nama Tuhan Yesus kami sudah berdoa. Amin.
Baik, terima kasih Bu Mawar untuk doa penutupnya. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu sekalian. Semoga sesi hari ini sangat menginspirasi karena kita dengar sendiri dari para pakar, bukan hanya secara teori, tapi para pakar yang memproduksi film pendek. Selamat mempersiapkan diri. Kalau ada pertanyaan, boleh ditanyakan, baik di Discord ataupun langsung di WhatsApp group, begitu ya. Nanti kami akan tangani. Selamat mempersiapkan diri dan selamat bertanding di dalam hackathon tanggal 12 sampai 20. Saya menyarankan untuk Bapak Ibu ketika nanti masuk di dalam Artworker, juga di Edify juga mencantumkan emailnya agar dapat mengikuti semua perkembangan. Di samping kami juga akan mengumumkannya di dalam WhatsApp grup peserta hackathon ini. Baik, Bapak Ibu sekalian, terima kasih banyak. Selamat berakhir minggu, selamat mempersiapkan Paskah besok. Terima kasih dan bye-bye. Terima kasih Jinkai.
Thank
Trevor,
you so
everyone.
much. Bye-bye.
Blessed Easter,
Yeah,
Thank you.
everyone.
bye.
Thank you,
Easter.
everyone.
Thank you.
Recording
Bye-bye.
stopped.
See you.
Bye.